Mouth-watering fixtures rather in the Europe's top leagues, talking about the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, as well as the Italian Serie A. Now joining me to preview some of these games is Seun Agbabiaka, who is a football analyst. Seun, good evening. It's good to have you on the show.
Good evening. It's good to have me.
Thank you so much. Let's start from the English Premier League. It's all about, the title race right there. And before we delve to the big one, which is Arsenal against Aston Villa at the Emirates, let's take a quick look at Manchester City, the defending champions, trying to make a four-peat of the Premier League title. And it's all about Rodri. The midfielder complained that he needs rest. And Guardiola has definitely responded to that effect. The big question is, do you think Manchester City, especially Guardiola, can afford to rest Rodri at this point of the season, where it's all about the home stretch and it's a three-horse race for the title?
Well, I think when the player complains of needing a rest, I think it's always very important that coaches give them those kind of opportunity to, especially when you are looking forward to win another competition. So it's very important that he got the rest that he actually demand for. But going into Luton City at home this weekend, I don't think he's going to rest him. I think probably he's going to play, and they probably need him now more than ever. And of course, they really need to fight against Luton City, because Luton City has just won their first game in the last 10 games. And of course, you know that Man City stretch, whenever they go play Champions League like that this season, they've lost in a record of 8 games after playing Champions League. They won 2 and lost and draw like 6 of it. So obviously they want to win, and of course they will apparently need to use Rodri going forward.
Okay, in about 30 seconds to wrap up this, discussion and move on to the Arsenal game at the Emirates. Players over time have complained about the excessive workload and the need to have, breaks in between these matches. Yet, football authorities from UEFA to FIFA are expanding their competitions. The Club World Cup has been expanded. UEFA Champions League from next season has an expanded format as well. How do you think all of these expansions affects the productivity of these players at the elite level?
Well, I think these players, they are professionals. Yeah, they train like almost 2 times in a week, and they are used to playing different competitions. You just spoke about the Premier League, spoke about Champions League being extended. And don't forget, going forward, they will also be playing the Euros. And of course, they won't have more rest that they will demand for. But of course, that's why we have a larger squad. And that's why sometimes it's very important for managers to rotate players, especially when you have a big squad like Man City. You can always bring in different players to represent one another in the same team. So I believe that it will also lead to more expansion of quality teams, so that other players can have opportunities to play.
Okay, let's turn our attention now to the Emirates Stadium, and it's all about the big one, Arsenal against Aston Villa. For the 3 teams chasing the title, Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool, they can't afford to lose points at this home stretch of the season. Aston Villa will definitely be a stern test on our Emirates men. Did win midweek, while Arsenal played out that 4-goal thriller against Bayern Munich. How do you see this panning out, and do you think Arsenal really have what it takes this time around to see through a title pursuit?
They were very close last season, and this is the first time we have a 3-man horse race in a long time. Over a decade, we haven't seen a 3 team competing for same title. This is the first time in a long while. So Arsenal, they are just comfortably at the top right now with goal difference, same as Liverpool, and of course Man City chasing behind them. Yeah, Aston Villa have also been fantastic. Don't forget that in the beginning of the season, Aston Villa won them at home, where they beat them 1-0. So obviously they'll be going to Emirates. So Arsenal will probably play a very fantastic game against Bayern Munich, drawing that 2-2 at Emirates. I believe they should be able to win Aston Villa and then still maintain their title contenders.
Okay, let's take a look quickly at Newcastle United against Tottenham Hotspur. For Newcastle, not much in there, but for Spurs, they need to keep up the pressure on Aston Villa in terms of Champions League football next season. Away from home, do you think Ange Postecoglou's men can get the job done against Newcastle at St. James's Park?
Well, it's going to be a very tight one. It's going to be a very difficult one. Don't forget, Manchester United is just behind them.
Okay.
Also somehow looking forward to clinch a Champions League spot. So, but yeah, Tottenham has been fantastic this season, and of course they've come back so many times to turn the game around. But going away to Newcastle will probably be a very test of game. And of course, yeah, who knows? Newcastle has been scoring in the past 4 games. So obviously, it's going to be a very tough match. Of course, in my own opinion, I think it's probably will lead to a draw, and if they don't suffer defeat at Newcastle.
Okay, let's turn our attention quickly as we wrap up this discussion to the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid are 8 points clear at the summit, but Barcelona are definitely on a very good streak of form, considering ever since Xavi Hernandez announced his shock resignation, they are unbeaten in 11 matches, and we saw that win against PSG as well. This time around, they will be away at Cadiz. Real Madrid will be taking on the Copa del Rey finalist Mallorca. How do you see that panning out for both teams?
Well, I think after playing Champions League, Madrid losing to Man City, it's going to be a very tough. Drawing against Man City is going to be a very tough one, and they'll probably want to rest their players. They want to go to Etihad this time to do justice to Man City. So obviously, there's nothing in for Madrid to play this weekend. They probably can rest the whole squad and then face Man City. But of course, for Barcelona, they will be playing at home against PSG. PSG, we would all think they were going to win that game, but unfortunately, they didn't turn up, and Mbappe was just a threat that didn't pull any threats. Obviously, I think the both team will actually need to rest their players, and of course, and then do justice in the midweek.
Okay, wrapping up, in the Italian Serie A, we know Inter Milan are runaway leaders, and it's just a matter of time before they are deemed the worthy winners of the Italian Serie A. AC Milan had that shock loss at home to Roma in the Europa League. Do you see Roma piling more pressure? Do you see AC Milan as well trying to rebound from that shock loss and maybe extend the title race for just another week in the Italian Serie A?
Well, I think the winner of the Italian Serie A has already been shown. Inter Milan would definitely win the Italian Serie A. Of course, AC Milan losing to Roma was a surprise. Roma hasn't beat AC Milan at home in more than 3 years. But it's football. You expect anything is possible. So I think they should bounce back, and of course they should give it a fight at AC Milan.
Okay, Seun Agbabiaka, thank you so much for your time on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We hope to see the very best of club football over the weekend, and hopefully it is about the players and not the officiating, especially the controversy that the video assistant referees can always come up with in the English Premier League especially.